The university will start searching soon for a new president as Steven Standiford handed in his resignation today. Good Friday evening. I'm Tyler Lopez.
And I'm Janice Rebholz. Thanks for joining us. He spent months cutting classes, staffers, and working with a multi-million-dollar budget deficit. And this move of him resigning takes effect in about 2 weeks. Sayla Estelle has the details in tonight's top story.
Friday morning in a press release, Bradley University's president, Dr. Steven Standiford, announced that he will be stepping down from his role effective June 15th. Throughout his 4-year term, university officials say President Standiford has created an inclusive culture and also the first 5G digitally connected campus in a partnership with T-Mobile. He was formerly the dean of the Andre B. Lacey School of Business at Butler University. Dr. Standiford mentioned in a statement to the university that serving his term has been an honor and a privilege, and that he's confident the school will achieve great things in the future. The current Board of Trustees chair, Jonathan Michael, will serve as interim president. Standiford has served as the university's president since May of 2020. His reasons for stepping down have not yet been released. In Peoria, Sayla Estelle, 25 News.